So you always want to be respectful when you're talking about weight. You also want to be respectful of gender, and also talking about minority groups. Okay, so we want to be very respectful, very sensitive. During the documentary, when we were talking about women, and anytime we talked about women's issues in here, there's some tension with a few of you, like that I can just feel. And whether or not, you feel one way or another about women, if you feel negatively about women, keep it to yourself, okay? Because there's a lot of women in this room, all right? We are not, also, ladies, we want to be careful not to bash guys, because we're not in here to bash men, okay? We are equals. Does that make sense? Okay. The other thing.
Curious about first period.
My first period. Wow. Eli got to hear the whole story because I was reading the board second period during my planning period. I'll just tell you straight up. Somebody wrote on the board that rape culture is a myth.
What?
Okay. They also wrote that the gender wage gap is a myth. These are not myths. Okay. Let's just be very clear. These are not myths, okay? So we don't want to go there. I don't want to flip out on you guys, but my first period is going to get a separate lesson tomorrow. Instead of studying for the final, they're going to learn about rape culture, what that is, and then they're also going to learn about the gender wage gap and why that is a real thing, okay?
It means
that rape culture?
Oh, okay.
The wage gap, that women make less money than men in the same profession. That is a fact. It's not always, right? But it's still out there. It's a fact. Okay? It is a thing. Okay. Are you shaking your head about the wage gap?
No, I'm shaking my head about something else. Another stupid thing you said.
Okay. Not what I'm saying right now?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So, you've got to understand that these are sensitive things to hear, okay? There are different family structures, okay? There's different ways that men and women interact in your household, and that's okay, right? Sometimes women work. Sometimes women don't work. Sometimes men work. Sometimes men don't work. Whatever you do is fine, okay? It's okay for women to work. I'm here working. I'm a woman. I'm surviving. It's okay. It's possible.
You
Yay.
pay more than Mr. Bazan?
Yeah. Zahn has that same issue. He also doesn't believe in rape culture or the gender gap.
Did he make that public? Oh, so that's where the tension comes from.
Okay.
There's tension between.
But guys, I've seen some snickering during the women's video. Like, I've seen you guys making jokes with each other. It's funny. Oh, it's all in good fun, hopefully. I hope it's not from a place of women suck. Because if you feel that way, you need to keep it to yourself today. And always, actually. If you ever want to get a date, keep it to yourself. Let's just go with that. But are we clear? Otherwise, I will take my PowerPoint that I'm creating tomorrow for first period, and I will show it during this class period too.
I just sort of want to see it. I just sort of want to see it.
Completely
I feel that it is my duty to educate these people who clearly are unsure.
You emailed me?
I want to see my PowerPoint tomorrow. I haven't
Comment on
made it
his
yet,
YouTube
but I'm going to tonight.
Should I
just
need to
for
delete
them.
some?
Yes.
I called Daddy and he deletes it.
Question? Oh, I can show you. Yeah, I'll show you what I made for them.
What?
I try to tweet him.
Yeah. Guys, even have you heard of the recent Stanford rape case?
Yes.
And what's happening with that? Like, that is...
Oh, wait, was that the swimmer guy?
The swimmer, okay, hang on. There's a swimmer, he was a freshman, I guess. He raped a woman on campus. He ended up only getting 6 months. His dad...
She was drunk. She was drunk and behind the trash.
She was, yeah, she was unconscious, okay? And so, basically, he ends up getting 6 months, and people are absolutely outraged. He's saying that she wanted it. Like, this is the idea of rape culture. Oh, she went to this party and she drank, so she asked for it. Is that true?
No.
Nobody
Not
asks
always.
for it.
Usually it's like 15 years to life for that kind.
Oh, exactly. But see, when you say...
What?
And the dad wrote a letter in, and he's like, no, my son's getting 6 months for, he didn't even get his, 20 minutes of action or whatever, right? This dad wrote this horrible letter, okay?
Usually the punishment is a lot more severe.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
is,
15
but
to life.
he's an athlete. So again, that brings in another whole set of issues, okay? But I mean, you gotta be sensitive.
Those accused.
So do you understand why I flip out when I read things that rape culture is a myth?
Yes.
Nobody wants to be raped. Nobody is asking for it. Okay? I had a friend in college who was raped. She did not ask for it. She didn't. She was drugged and she was raped. And it's horrible. And it happens. It happens so often and it is terrible. So when people say it doesn't exist, it makes me flip out. Because it does exist. Okay? Yeah, Gabe?
Was there also something with like the Baylor football team?
I believe so. I don't know the whole story with that, but I believe so. Yep. Yeah, Austin?
I don't know if it's the state or the countries, if any parties under the influence of alcohol, they actually cannot consent.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, exactly. And if someone's unconscious, can they give consent? No. That's the fact that the guy continued shows that he is a rapist. She's unconscious. That, like, yeah.
I have a couple friends of mine who I used to know who got raped before.
Yeah, it's awful. And then, you get this kind of insider perspective on it. Like, it's easy to say, like, oh, that's never going to happen to me. But you don't know that. It's scary. That's why you got to protect yourself. But even if you do, there's no guarantee, right? And that's why we have to talk about this kind of stuff, so that you're aware that it's out there. Yeah.
People should watch Law and Order SVU.
Oh, totally.
I love that.
That is a great show. And they actually really educate you on all kinds of issues with that.
I like
No,
sorry
it
for
really
Law and
is.
Order.
It teaches you a lot of stuff.
Gotta get
Yeah,
some law.
it's true. But you gotta keep in mind,
No, the one with the base.
whenever you're talking about issues of rape, you don't know what people in this room have been through. I mean, you don't know. And you don't know what their family members have been through. You've got to keep that in mind and be sensitive to that. Okay? So are we...
I think I'll put your winner.
That is true. You probably did. So guys, can I count on you today to not offend in the discussion, not write offensive things on the boards? Like, the people who wrote those comments on the boards, there were so many comments coming back at them, like, you are not educated, like, what is wrong with you, So, I mean, it was
Were
good.
they identified?
Is that who it's from? Who wrote that?
Oh, I know, yeah. They signed their name, which to me, I was like, well,
We're gonna talk.
but honestly, guys, what this shows me, listen, what this shows me, though, he signed his name. He believes that to be a fact. And that is frightening in itself, right? Which is why I felt the need that I will educate them on this tomorrow. Because there was enough of them that agreed with him that all males, okay? Yeah.
So if this was written in the section of opinion, are we allowed to know who wrote it?
No, I'm not going to tell you a name. No, because I don't want to put them on blast. They're going to be put on blast enough tomorrow when I say, hey, this comment happened, and everybody knows, because they all were like, no, this is wrong, you're so wrong,
That was a sophomore class?
it was. Just let it go. Just let it go, okay?
You should sing it for us.
I'm so curious.
But guys, the fact that he honestly believed that this was okay to write is what is concerning to me. But I don't think that we're going to get the same thing today, right?
You did it for attention.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just going to say, I mean, if I see any comments like that, you are not going to pass this here, because clearly you're missing something. You didn't watch the video. I mean, you didn't watch. You don't understand. Okay. And I know for some of you, you might think this is funny, and you might think it's funny to go write something on the board talk and not sign your name. And nothing's stopping you from doing that. But if you decide to do that, you're making a joke out of rape. And you are a terrible person. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? Clear? There will be somebody that does it, I guarantee you. But you know what? There's not much I can do if you don't sign your name. Just know that I think you're terrible. Okay? Yep. All right.